Eastern Conference semis. Pacers looking to steal one on the road, taking on Cleveland. Tyrese Haliburton, a little shake and bake, and then the circus lay, and that's going to put the Pacers up by 10. And they don't look back at all as they go on to take game one of the series, 121-112. The Cavs, they did have 68 points in the paint, but Indy dominated from long range, shot 54% from three. Donovan Mitchell, the stats show it. It looks like he had a fantastic night, but was 1 of 11 from three-point range. He finished his night with 33.5 boards and 4 assists. But it's the Pacers who take the first game up 1-0 in the series. And we're joined by CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. And Bill, if you had to fill in the blank, help me out here. What I learned from game one between the Pacers and Cavs is blank. Fill it in.
Beyond the Arc is right. The podcast I do with John Gonzalez, because we've been pushing this notion, this idea. The Pacers, I think, are the most underrated, underappreciated team in the NBA. No, they're not elite over the regular season, at least, the way that the Thunder and the Celtics and this Cavs team were. But if you go back to mid-December, when they kind of figured things out, they were under 500, they weren't playing well, their defense, Keanu, was atrocious. They figured something out at that point of the season. And since then, they're fourth in wins, they're a top 10 offense and defense. This is a Pacers team that has been sneaky good for a long time. And if the Cavs didn't know it heading into this game, they do now.
So with you saying that this is an underrated and maybe an underappreciated Pacers team, how much of a believer are they making you now looking at how game one took place?
So, look, I think the Cavs are the better basketball team, and these series are long and winding roads. Just ask the Warriors, who might have thought that they had that thing locked up, and obviously tonight they've got to try to finish off a Rocket team that's made a comeback. So I think the Cavs are still the favorites, even though they just lost game one, but you have to play these games. The Pacers are good enough to beat them in multiple games, not just this game. This is kind of it was also a really weird game, Kiana, because you have a Pacers team that doesn't usually turn the ball over, who had 16 turnovers. They had more than twice as many turnovers as the Cavs. The Cavaliers dominated them in terms of offensive rebounding, so Cleveland got a bunch of extra shots. They just couldn't make them because you had this Pacers team make more than 50% of their threes. So I don't think the equation that we saw in terms of how each of these teams performed and what they did well and what they did poorly is likely to repeat itself over the course of the series, which I think makes the other games really, really unpredictable. But this is still, even though Cleveland's elite, this is a really good Pacers team. And if you don't take care of business, if you're Cleveland, yeah, they can beat you again and again and again.
Okay, well, Cleveland certainly needing to take care of business, but they're doing that without one of their stars. How badly do you think the Cavs are going to need Darius Garland, especially in this series?
Yeah, short answer, long answer. Short answer, a lot, right? He's one of their better players, and you always want those guys on the floor. But I also think that one of the big questions for Cleveland, not just in this series, Kiana, but I think just in this playoffs round where they are expected to at least make a conference finals, and their expectations, obviously, in Cleveland are to make the finals and try to win it, is what Donovan Mitchell can do and what he can be. He's never made it past this round in the postseason. If you just look at his stats, yeah, he scores a lot of points in the playoffs, and he's had some huge games. He's also had some underwhelming performances. He's not James Harden, but there's a question mark there. Having Darius Garland, it takes some of the pressure off of him. He doesn't have to feel like as the only sort of sole backcourt member who's a star who can, that he have to do too much. And I think he forced it here. He had a lot of points, but you noted it was 33 or 34 points on 30 shots. I mean, 30 shots. He made one of his 11 three-point shots. Getting Garland back, I think, allows him to let the game come to him a little bit, not to force it. So Garland's a great player, so you just want him out there. I also just think it makes life easier for Donovan Mitchell, who maybe was feeling the pressure a little night to carry a little bit too much of the load for this Cleveland offense.
It's something that I noticed when I'm looking at this game, and you're looking at the stats, and you called out some of the things, but you look at points in the paint. You look at they were even with rebounds. Turnovers was a big one, especially for Indiana. But I don't feel like the score really told the full story of this game. What was the difference maker in your eyes? Because I know we talk about three-point shooting here, but what's tipping the scales here for both teams?
No, I think it was shooting. I mean, look, I think it was shooting on both sides of the equation. The Pacers team that couldn't miss. You have multiple guys and not just double digits, but in the 20s. I thought Tyrese Haliburton was awesome. He's always awesome. He's the engine that makes this offense go. And on the other side of the equation, yeah, they had a lot of points in the paint, Cleveland, because they're bigger. And really because Donovan Mitchell couldn't hit a shot. So he was, and credit to him, he was attacking the rim. He got to the rim. He had a lot of buckets in the paint. But if Donovan Mitchell makes 30% of his three-point shots instead of less than 10%, it's a totally different game. And I think it'll be when. I can't imagine the Pacers are going to hit 53, 54% of their threes over the course of the series, even though they're outstanding offensively. That's a big differential. So you're right. There were turnovers. There was offensive rebounding to the advantage of Cleveland. There was a lot of sort of interesting factors. But at the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the hoop. The Pacers did it in a pretty impressive way, and Cleveland just could not.
I'm just going to say, I think this one, game one, at least setting us up for a really interesting series. And I'm not going to put my, prediction out there, but the way these teams play each other, especially say someone gets healthy, say the way they're battling back and forth, I think this one could go long range. So I know who will be talking about it. It'll be you. I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much, Bill. And speaking of, Bill said the Beyond the Arc podcast.
Do you see it in person?
Yeah, it took us a while to get you. I think we finally figured it out, but in the beginning, man, they had us kind of in the blender a little bit, and we did get adjusted to it, made some adjustments, and settled down a little bit. But and then their shot making was otherworldly. And obviously we're 9 for 38. Elite shot making by them. Give them a ton of credit. I think at the first half we had them in the second percentile of shot quality. I don't know what it finished. But we're forcing tough shots. But give them credit. It's the playoffs. Yeah, good point, Joe. Took us a while to figure out their speed.
And then with DeAndre, obviously he took that hard fall. I guess 2 questions on that. What is he okay? And then also, what's their next?
Doesn't look good. I don't know. I think what they reviewed it, right? I think, which is, I never understood this. I think once you release the ball, you can basically hit a guy. Once it's released, kind of all bets are off. Even on a floater, if you shoot a floater and they hit you, they don't call that. So that I didn't get an explanation. I just said, well, they reviewed it, so they didn't see a foul. I thought we got hammered 3 times at the JA had that one where he got hammered and did. But the refereeing was fine. They outplayed us. You got to give them credit. Simple as that.
Okay.
You guys didn't shoot the ball well from beyond the arc, obviously.
Yeah.
What did you think of the shot generated?
Average. I thought they did a good job. We only had 7 turnovers. They just did a good job with their physicality. Their defensive intensity was excellent. It's crazy. I kind of think it was more our offense that hurt us as well. You gave up, whatever, but sometimes your offense affects your defense. So, again, I didn't feel like we moved it, sticking. We tried to keep Ty out there to get another ball handler just to relieve the pressure. But our offense wasn't great tonight.
With Darius out, what went into the decision to put Sam in the starting lineup?
Yeah, Sam. You could argue. Yeah, Sam creates advantages off the ball, and then obviously a good defensive player. Obviously the shooting gives us another shooter, relieves a little pressure off Don.
Ash. To go back to moving the ball offensively, just what do you think about 30 shot attempts for Donovan tonight? Is that more than you want from him, or
I think he, kind of felt the moment, felt he needed, with Darius out. But we definitely, and it not just on him. I thought it was a general. Didn't distribute the ball like we normally, didn't move it like we normally did, and you got to get off the ball. They packed the paint, and I there's going to be a lot of clips where it was a one more pass or a swing pass. We didn't get into any of that, but credit to them for packing the paint. We got to move it better.
Just knowing this group, obviously, the way you do, what's going to be important in a response in a couple of days here, and how do you think they're going to handle that?
I think we have great leadership that starts there. So we'll bounce back. Got to win 4. you know, and like I said, they played outstanding. Guys are good spirits. We just got to check our health status. That's going to be, you know, big. Where are we? Get our recovery. Be ready to go for game 2.
Right.
Well, take a look at the most consecutive game ones with 30 points or more scored in a game in NBA history. Donovan Mitchell surpassing the one and only Michael Jordan, who had 7 twice in his career. Donovan Mitchell now with 8.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you like the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we notice that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.